Welcome to Ellie Solutions for a new Jira Administrators Series video tutorial. My name is Courtney, and today I'm going to provide you with an overview to the Jira Workflows Advanced Configurations. By implementing these advanced configurations within the workflows, you can block transitions based within a user's group. You can also check that a field has been filled out before allowing a transition to take place. And finally, you can automatically assign a ticket to a specific user when a ticket reaches a certain point in its life cycle. These are controlled with conditions, validators, and post functions. Let's take a look at this image. The line in between status 1 and status 2 represents the transition between the two statuses. As you can see, the first thing that is performed is the condition. This is a check that verifies that a predefined condition has been met. If it hasn't, the transition button will simply not appear. The next thing that occurs is the transition screen. This is a pop-up screen that requests additional data before the transition can be completed. They could be comments or values in a custom field. The next piece is a validator. It is also a requirement check, similar to conditions. But this check is performed after the transition has begun, so the user can select the transition button before the validator is performed. The last piece is a post function. This is an automation that is performed after the transition is completed. Like automatically assigning it to a user, you can also set up additional options, like limiting what values are displayed for system fields, and restricting visibility to certain tickets, based on a specific point in their life cycle. Let's begin by showing you how you can access these configurations. We're going to start by selecting the administration cog in the top right of the screen, and then selecting Issues. On the left-hand portion of the screen, we're going to select Workflows under the Workflow section. For the purpose of this video, we are going to view an existing workflow. Let's select the Advanced Workflow and edit it. Now let's click on a transition. When you click on the transition line, notice the pop-up box appears. This contains properties, triggers, conditions, validators, and post functions. For the purpose of this video, we will not be going over properties and triggers. Let's go ahead and click on the conditions link in the pop-up. What we are now looking at is one condition within the transition itself. Conditions happen before the transition takes place. Essentially, if you add a condition and the requirements aren't met, the transition button will not appear to the user. In this example, only users in the group developers will be able to see the Start Progress button in a Jira issue. A quick note, these different tabs allow you to navigate between the different pieces of the specific transition. You don't have to back out and select the validators link on the pop-up. You can switch between all four elements tied to this transition directly on the screen. Let's go ahead and select validators. As you can see, there is one validator that checks that the description field is entered before the transition takes place, or the user will get an error message. We'll go ahead and select Post Functions next. As you can see, we have an action to assign the Jira issue to the current user who is performing the Start Progress transition. We also have other actions that are added by default. That's because the transition can't take place if they are missing. These items cannot be deleted. Finally, to set the transition screens, we will go to the Advanced Workflow Draft view. Then we will click on the diagram button. Click on the completed transition, and click on Edit. A new screen pops up where we can edit the name of the transition and add a description. At the bottom of the screen, we can see the screen field with a drop-down menu where we can select the transition screen. I will go ahead and select the Resolve Issue screen. Now when the completed transition is executed, the user will be prompted with the Resolve Issue screen where the user needs to set the resolution and add any comments if needed. We'll go ahead and publish the changes. We'll get into the configurations in more details in our other tutorials. For now, you have a basic idea of how advanced workflow configurations look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more Jira tutorials.